engagement ended, and that was a 4-year relationship. So that was a big part of my life. You think you're going to go one way down the lane and get married and have this other life. And then that quickly transitions and you're kind of left, no matter how it ends, you're left lonely and you're left sad. And I'm not a good sad person ever. um, and so I found myself alone in my house, no dog anymore, no other person. And I just didn't want to do anything, but I didn't want to do nothing.
Right.
So I was like, what do I do? So I went to the pickleball courts.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Pickle Me This. Be sure to subscribe, comment, and like so you'll be notified when new episodes drop every Saturday morning. You definitely don't want to miss them. Also, your support helps other pickleball enthusiasts find us too. Everyone has a story. Everyone, welcome to another episode of Pickle Me This, and I'm your host, Deirdre. And today I'm excited to share Morgan's incredible story of resilience, community, and rediscovering joy through pickleball. Her journey isn't about just learning a new sport, it's about how pickleball became her lifeline during one of the most challenging periods of her life. From dealing with a broken engagement to finding an unexpected community that rallied around her, you'll hear how a former competitive gymnast found her way back to athletics, discovered friendships she never expected, and learned that sometimes the best thing you can do is just show up, even when you don't feel like talking to anyone. So, welcome, Morgan.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me.
I'm so excited. So excited you're here. Morgan and I played in league together. So we got to know each other. I mean, we played at the courts together on the rec play too, but we really got to know each other well during league. So that was fun.
Yeah, it's a different level when you get to, be there every Tuesday night for 6 games till what, 9:30, 10?
For hours. Just sitting there chatting. So I think the best place to start is tell me about what was going on in your life before pickleball.
Yeah. So September 2023, I remember I started pickleball and I had no idea about pickleball. I'd heard about it just from the rumblings of, this becoming a thing and people were doing. But I had moved into a new house and my neighbor who's retired came over and knocked on our door and was like, "Hey, I'm Henry, you should play pickleball." And we're like,
I
"What?
love it.
What is pickleball? Like, why would we play pickleball?" And we're like, okay, yeah, yeah. And then he came over again and he had this little card and it had all the courts and the time that they were open that we could go play pickleball. And we're like, okay, we got to go play pickleball with this guy. And he gave us rackets that he had bought for his grandson that were like starter rackets that he didn't play with. And we went to Lake Lynn, indoor courts, no idea how to play. And him and some friends were just teaching us the rules. We were trying to remember how to keep track of the score at that point and like what lines we're in and everything. So we were horrible, but it was super fun to kind of just get out there and do something else. So I will say I was going to the bar too much. Maybe on Friday nights I would go out, but instead we replaced that with pickleball for a little bit. So that was really something different.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. I love that. Love that story. Just knocked on your door. I was like, you should play.
Yeah.
Do you still hang out? Do you still see him?
Yes, I do, I do. I've, since moved away from that house, but, no, we still keep in contact, and he's been a really good friend and just someone who, yeah, really got us into pickleball, and I really honestly thank him. I'm like, "Without you, I wouldn't have gotten into that." It's so strange, and, our generation really doesn't knock on people's door anymore, right? But, he was just, like, not afraid, and he was just showing up every single time, so
I love how it made you feel included, right?
yeah, and I was, like, really encouraged. I'm like, "Okay," by the second time, he wrote us, like, a whole card, like, "We gotta go."
I put a lot of thought and effort into it for
Yeah.
sure. Do you remember your first game? Well, I think you talked about it a little bit, like the scoring and stuff. Do you remember what it felt like to step out onto the court for the first time?
Yes, feeling clueless, right? And just like, but open, so open and not afraid to be bad. I think that was my headspace at that point and got out there. People were telling me like where to move on the court, up, down, back forward. Oh, start back there because they're going to serve, come back. And you're just like so confused, but you're just listening to people. You're trying to get it over the net. I felt like vulnerable, kind of. Because even after your 20s, when are you really learning something new to that extent when you're in an environment where other people know exactly what they're doing and you don't?
Yeah.
Um, it's kinda like starting a new job, right? Everyone else knows and you're just kinda there. That's how I felt, but I also felt really challenged because I really wanna be good at something, and when I'm not, I wanna get better, and I see it as, like, not defeat, but I see it as, like, an opportunity. And it's such a productive thing, right? I'm like, well, I'm being healthy. I'm being active. I'm starting to
Mhm.
talk to these people who I wouldn't even have talked with before. And there, it's a little bit of an older crew at Lakeland, and they were just showing me the ropes, telling me how to keep the score. I couldn't remember. I'm like, 3, 2, 1. Why are there three numbers? What are we doing here? You don't score unless it's your serve. You have to move back and forth on the court. Dinking, no idea what that was. Like, had no idea. Didn't have a tennis background either. So, just picked up a racket and was really open to just being bad and to
Yeah.
just learning something new, but everyone was really welcoming.
Yeah, everyone's so welcoming. How long before you ventured outside?
So, then I kept hearing about these North Hills Park, that was, like, extravagant, are supposed to be really awesome, and, like, people go and play there all hours of the day. In Lakeland, they have specific hours, Tuesday, Thursday, only, like, 2 hours a day, and I'm like, "These people are crazy. What are they doing out there, like, at this park?" And so finally, I was convinced. I think it took a couple months even to go play at North Hills Park, and once I played at North Hills Park, I never played indoors again. It
Right?
is actually a beautiful spot with the trees and
Yes.
just, like, the climate and the people and the courts, and it's just a whole different environment, and again, yeah, I never went inside after that.
Yeah. It's actually kinda hard playing inside on a gym floor with all those lines and those yellow floors. I find it and keeping track of the ball, I get a little dizzy in there sometimes.
Definitely, and it bounces different.
It
Bounces
does.
totally different, moves totally different, so, yeah, but when you I didn't know anything about, like, the outdoors, so I didn't know what I
It
was
was your first
missing,
experience.
right?
Yeah.
I thought the indoors was great.
Yeah, I actually played I forgot actually that I played at Lakeland a couple times in my early journey. You talked about you wanted to be good at it. You came from a athletic background as a gymnast. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, so I started from, like, 3 years old being a gymnast, and I think every little girl, right, starts, like, gymnastics or dance or something, but I just kept with it, and I did it for, I think, 7 or 8 years, and then I transitioned to being a cheerleader. D1, went to states, was pretty competitive, cheered a little bit at Michigan State, and so having that background, I love being in a sport, and there's just that something inside you that, like, just ignites when you get to be in those situations where you feel pressure, but you have to show up, and I feel like it's hard to get that in your adult life.
Mhm.
Where else is that coming from? And now I felt a little bit of that even when I wasn't good in pickleball, of being like, this is the energy and the momentum and the feelings I got when I was competing in gymnastics. And I also think that they translate a little bit because although you do have a partner in pickleball, it's somewhat of an individual sport. You're responsible for your own shots, you're responsible for your own defense. Similar in gymnastics, you compete individually even though you are part of a team. So I kind of saw that same energy and attitude across each other, which was interesting.
I didn't know you were a cheerleader too. Like that's cool. Or cheer team. Is it politically correct to say cheerleader?
Cheerleader, yeah, I'm
Okay.
not picky.
Yeah.
Just don't say it's not a sport, then we're not friends.
I had a college roommate who was one also, and she same thing. She got very, um, like, annoyed with people when they started saying stuff like that to her too. She's like, "Oh my gosh, it's so hard." Speaking about athletic, they were, like, throwing each other around and stuff. It was nuts.
Yeah,
Um,
we would throw each other around. I mean, we would tumble. I was a big tumbler just coming from a gymnastics background, really good at that, and I think that helped too, like, I people say, like, last night I was playing at pinpoint and they're like, "You're a wall, like, you see everything," and I'm like, "I think it's because of the hand-eye." Like, as a gymnast, you have to be really self-aware of your own body, and then as a cheerleader too, you're flipping, you're flying, you're catching other people, so a girl compared to a ball, I know I don't wanna drop a girl, so.
oh, right. Definitely don't wanna drop a girl. Let's talk about building community and friendships. You mentioned that most of your friends now come from your pickleball connections. Tell me about the first meaningful friendship that you formed through the sport.
Yeah. It's actually funny because when you meet people, they're like, "Oh, who do you know in Raleigh?" or "How do you know people in Raleigh?" And I'm just like, "It's this game called pickleball, and all my friends are there." Um, I was showing up to the courts, and this was more at North Hills where I started to kind of make some friendships and connect with people on the sidelines in between games. Um, and 2 people kinda come to mind, like Alyssa. She seems to know everybody, and when I was first there, she was really welcoming and open, and we got in a girl group chat, and we were talking. That's where I met Shane. I think I honestly met you through Alyssa and a little bit probably through Jackie as well. But it really showed me that there's these female connections that you can make there, and that was really powerful. Like, to be in a girl group chat in a city that I didn't have a ton of girlfriends in, was really awesome. And we like had a group chat. It was like pickleball princesses. We went out to dinner or drinks for a couple of times. And even when you don't, hang out all the time, you'd see each other at the courts and you'd be in that group chat and you'd go out a couple times. It really just showed me that there's connections and opportunity here, to form some relationships. So that was really awesome. And then Asu is another person who is really into pickleball and really friendly and really just introduced me to a lot of other people as well. I go to this it's like a meetup like every other month, and we cook certain cuisines,
Oh,
and
cool.
it's like we do Italian, like Irish, we've done American, and they're all pickleball people. And AC brought me into that group. I played in a tournament with him, my first tournament with him. And it's just amazing how it just transcends just through these different groups to people I would never come across if I didn't have this game. All ages, all genders, all backgrounds, coming from all different interests that we all just connect on at this one game. We like to go outside and hit this ball around.
It's definitely a sense of inclusion and a sense of community and belonging. Like you feel like you belong to this group of people, which is lovely. Oh, I love that idea of getting together to cook different cuisines. How cool is that?
Yes, yes, you should come next one. I'll take you.
It's so cool. I might
Yeah.
be too, maybe I'm too old.
What I say, there's all ages. There's like, I think people close to 70.
Oh,
And
wow.
then, yeah, and then me and people in between. And yeah.
Where did you move from? Like how long you been in Raleigh?
So I've been in Raleigh just over 3 years. I moved from Texas, Amarillo,
That's right.
Texas. And then I'm from Michigan, though.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
What surprised you the most about the diversity of people you've met through pickleball?
Again, it's just amazing that it doesn't matter all of these things that group us into certain places, our age, our gender, our, beliefs, our backgrounds, that doesn't matter on the pickleball court. You can come across anybody and chat with anybody, and mostly everybody is friendly at these courts. And
They really are.
if you hit it off, you hit
Hmm.
it off, right? You just like, I just think of different people like randomly like Mark, oh, he's a huge Florida Gators fan. Like there's just so many interesting things you learn about people just from being out there for hours, with people you would never come across if you didn't.
Yes. Do you find yourself more willing to chat with people, like in the storyline, I don't know, or something like at the pool because you've gotten so used to just chatting with people at the courts?
Yes, I've never thought about it in that way, but I do agree. I think it makes me more confident.
Confident. That's the word I wanted.
Yeah, more confident, to go up to somebody random and strike a conversation, right? Because when you're standing next to someone at the pickleball court and you don't talk, it's almost like I need to be talking to this person. So
Uh-huh.
I go up and talk. And I also think it breaks down stereotypes, right? I've learned about so many different types of people through this that I wouldn't have had the chance or experience with if I didn't play this game because I just
Right.
don't come across. Again, we're in our groups all the time. So that's really been awesome. I think it's opened me up to different thoughts and beliefs and people.
Yeah. I know. I bet you before pickleball, less apt to talk to people. You'd see people and you were just like, "Yeah, nah." Or you didn't think about it actually, right? It didn't even cross your mind to talk to people. But now it, like you said, it's definitely strange if you're at the courts and you're not if you're quiet and you're both quiet next to each other, you're just like, "I should be saying something."
Right, right, and I think that we've gotten so far away from going up and striking those random conversations just in our society, but it's shown me that people do wanna do that,
They do.
and there is positive interaction when they do that, and people are receptive, even if we don't think that they are all the time.
Yeah. People crave human connection. They really do.
More now than ever.
Yes. So you mentioned pickleball being there for you during some both good and really sad times. Tell us about tell us about that.
Yeah, really good times are the exciting ones when you had a really good day or, I presented at work and I have all this energy that I just wanna get out. I'm gonna go on the courts and, hit the ball around. So that's been awesome too, as a workout as well, getting out of the gym, being outside, being around people. And then definitely some of the sad times. I don't know if it's just trying to drum up some of those good endorphins when you're sad and getting out there, um, but also just a place to go, I think.
Mhm.
So, it was mentioned in the intro that my engagement ended, and that was a 4-year relationship. So that was a big part of my life. You think you're going to go one way down the lane and get married and have this other life, and then that quickly transitions, and you're kind of left. No matter how it ends, you're left lonely and you're left sad.
Right.
And I'm not a good sad person ever. um, and so I found myself alone in my house, no dog anymore, no other person. And I just didn't want to do anything, but I didn't want to do nothing.
Right.
So I was like, what do I do? So I went to the pickleball courts and I was like, I'm just going to go there even if I don't want to show up. And I would just show up and I didn't want to talk to people because you're just so empty on the inside. You just don't even know what to say. And I'm just like, I don't want to talk to people, but I didn't have to. That was the most amazing part. And I don't know another environment that lends that opportunity where you can be surrounded by people and feel included and not feel as isolated, but not talk to anybody. And I could do that. I could stand on the sideline and just watch people and be around people. And if people engage with me, sure, I'd have some one off conversations, but I didn't have to start a conversation. I didn't have to talk about anything I didn't want to talk about. When you go out with friends, of course, they might ask you something because they feel obligated to ask you about that situation, or, you're going to hear about their life and you have to engage. And it's kind of taxing when you're already going through something emotional. And I could just be out there and just be surrounded by people, and I really helped me not feel lonely, and it
Mhm.
was such a strange feeling to be able to do that.
Yes. There is something comforting just about being around other people, and you don't have to say anything.
Mhm.
And you can kind of feed off their energy and what's going on around you and them. I can totally understand that for sure.
Yes, and when you're in that vulnerable spot too, I think that you do need a little bit more energy from other people, so when they bring in those conversations that are just mundane conversations,
Mhm.
it's kinda nice to just be like, "Okay, we can just chat about this for a little bit," and I don't have to think about those other hard things or take the energy to start the conversation.
Right.
So, yeah, it was
And
really
and it
interesting.
might be easier to be around them than people who know you really well, who wanna dive in deeper and chat more when you don't feel like talking just yet.
Exactly, exactly, and there's that expectation when you're with friends that you're gonna probably talk about that, and even if you don't, you go in there with that anxiety that, like, you might have to talk about this, or you're gonna have to hear about their wonderful life, and maybe you just don't wanna hear about that right now.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I just wanna
You're
go,
like, "Not
like,
today." Yeah.
"Not today, not today." So I just wanna go on the course and just do nothing but hit a ball.
Yeah. But hey, you have flourished since all of that has happened for sure, right? Like I see you now and I'm like, you radiate sunshine and like happiness. And I'm so happy to see that. So,
Thank you. That means so much. Yeah, I think it's a transition. I think we're on the up.
yeah. How many months ago was it, Morgan?
November.
Yeah.
So a little over 6 months.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah. Um, Tell me about how your pickleball friends rallied around you during that tough transition.
it has been amazing. There's not even words to just like help people understand how much people in the community have, like, lifted me up, really. I mean, in January, I was talking to Caroline, and we have kind of some similarities to our past relationships, and we connected on that. And she recommended for me to read this book, Untamed. If you're going through a transition in your life, it's by Glennon Dowell. I really recommend it, even if you're not. It's just like it just breaks down different kind of society barriers that we kind of have in our head already. But anyways, I digress on that. But
That
she
was a good
really,
book recommendation. Yeah.
yes, yes. She really kinda just took me under her wing and was like, "Hey, girl, I've gone through similar things. Why don't you come on this trip with us for our birthday?" We went to Snowshoe, and it was the most like, it was amazing. It was exactly what I needed. I We got away, we went to West Virginia. We had so many laughs, like, including, like, she thought that whatever that, like, shows you gas meter shows you what's, full or not, she thought that broke in her, like, BMW. I'm like, "Girl, you just didn't fill it with gas." It was, like, the funniest thing. There was just so many moments like that. We were doing the cha-cha slide, like, in the cabin that everyone was in. Just so many moments in the hot tub, just things that I needed to do and get away, and they were all pickleball people. And she had met them, through pickleball, and then she had some friends from, that she had had previously, but Michelle was there, Brandon, met them, and then started playing on the courts too after that. So it kind of just continued the relationship. Um, I had a birthday in April, and I really hadn't celebrated my birthday in the past couple years. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna celebrate my birthday, and I'm gonna have some people there. And I mean, I think there was like around maybe 30, and a lot of them, I think the majority were pickleball people. And they were just there to show up to celebrate me. And they know that I needed that.
Yes.
Um, and so there was just those milestone moments of when I really needed people that they were there and they continue to be there for me. I just went and played at Pinpoint for Caroline's welcome back because she broke her toe, welcome back couple of games. And it just made me feel so full of life and just like love. And I'm like, pickleball brings me to the best people. It's amazing.
Yeah. I love that your like face is lighting up too as you're talking about it. That's so great. And people who go through similar things definitely bond with you because they understand, right? I love that she just like grabbed you and said, "Let's go."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like she knew what you needed.
She knew. Even when I was like, that's not gonna happen, that's not gonna happen." She was right, and I'm like, "You just need to listen to the people sometimes that have gone through it," and, it was really, really helpful, and there's other people a part of the group, that I had mentioned before, that really have come through and
Hmm.
are there.
Yeah. I love it. Cool. Um, let's talk about a few pickleball things, like memorable and funny moments. You talked about playing. It's like it's an interesting sport because you play in when it's really cold and you wear tons of layers to when you're sweating like crazy. Like this past weekend was really hot on the courts. What makes that fun?
It just makes us seem, like, so crazy that we're gonna go
It
out there and do
does.
that. Um, and I'm like, no one's gonna be out there, right? I'm like, it's so hot, it's sunny, we're gonna be baking out there, no one's gonna be out there. And I go out there and everyone's out there. And I'm like,
Hmm.
we're all just as crazy.
Yes.
Um, but I think that just the scenes in my head of what I think of as pickleball, and I'm like, yeah, I'm literally sweating, dying. I'm not used to this heat in North Carolina as much as everyone else is here. So I will say people weather the heat in the summer more here and we'll play through. And then in the winter, I've gone out there and there's probably a little bit less people
A little
there,
bit less
but
people.
I'm from Michigan, so I'm used to the cold. I'm like, what? This is nothing. Just put on layers. We're good. It's only 20 degrees. I'm used to -5. So that's been fun. But when you play in the winter, you like start in 3 jackets and then you like slowly start to take them all off.
Yeah.
And I've seen people in like t-shirts at the end because you're just so hot and just having a good time working out.
Yep. I know I started wearing in the winter too. I'm not really a vest person too much. Like I just this is not my thing because I'm usually so cold. I want like a full sleeve, but the vests are the best at pickleball because it's another layer that, but you still have freedom in your arms. Because otherwise, I'm really cold when I start. Also, peel off a bunch of layers. But if I put all those layers on, including the arms, I feel like, is it Ralphie from A Christmas Story? Have you seen that? It's like he can't even like move his arms.
You're
So
restricted for sure. Like, don't lob me. I cannot get it. Don't lob me.
like, then I have to take off like clothes as I go along for sure. Um, Walk us through this story, like your embarrassing story of getting hit in the mouth.
Yes. So thankfully, I have not been injured from pickleball. Let's keep it that way. But I was playing, and this was actually in really cold weather too. I think it was in the 30s. Maybe something to do with the restrictedness of this happening. But we were playing pickleball pretty competitively. There was three guys and me, and they hit a drive at my partner, and it hit the edge of their paddle and just ricocheted off to me and just smacked me right in the mouth. I didn't see it coming at all because it came from the side, and I was okay. I was only worried about my teeth a little bit. I'm like, if I lose a tooth for pickleball, I don't know, man. I don't know.
That's crossing the line.
That, yeah, broken nail I can do. A tooth, we're getting a little extreme. But no, it was all good, and I just had a fat lip, but the welt, the size of the hole on the pickleball, and it was like deep purple. But it was so funny because I was just like walking around with a little circle just like on my lip, and it looked so strange. But that's why I had to explain to people that, it was pickleball, of course, and then they looked at me even stranger. But that was the only injury I had, but it was super funny and ironic that it was the hole of the pickleball.
Yeah. Explaining the injuries from pickleball are interesting to people. One time I got hit by the ball on my arm, and I had the little like the hole speckles. Like it
Mhm.
like gave me like that tattoo. And people are like, "What is that?" I'm like, "Well, pickleball."
Yes. Wow, that was a hard hit then.
Oh, I was smacked. Like I got body bagged that day. Yeah,
Oh,
I was okay. It looked way worse than it was. But
little
hey, we
stinger.
all we all survived those moments for sure.
Yeah, we remember those. We remember who hit us too.
Everyone loves to hear about pet peeves. What are your pickleball pet peeves on the courts?
Ooh. Um, that's a good question. I feel like this isn't a huge pet peeve, but it's just like a big no-no. And this happened in the beginning. People don't really do it anymore, but when they would like double rack their paddle so like their friend who was playing could come play with them too.
Oh, like
And
save the spot?
yeah, to save their spot. And I'm like, if you're waiting for someone to drive up, like that's different. But if they're playing right now, like come on, like just wait. Take your paddle out, just wait. Um, One thing I also have realized a little bit is that females, maybe there's this belief that we like don't play as hard or aren't as good. And I haven't felt it all the time, but I have definitely felt this when I show up to the course and I might be against like two men, and there's a little bit of like, oh, like, we'll play easy on her. And then they start playing and they realize that no, I've actually played a lot and I'm actually a competitive player. But they're a little surprised. And I've had people make comments after, like, oh, again, like you're a wall, like nothing gets past you, or, I didn't expect that. And I'm just like, it's interesting to show
Yeah.
up and kind of experience that.
You didn't expect it from what? Looking at me?
Exactly. Yeah. Like, oh, okay.
Yes. Oh, for sure. Um, Tell us about you were just in a recent tournament this weekend
Mhm,
and you won gold. You and I
mhm.
were chatting about this before I hit record, but I think it'd be fun to talk about it a little bit on the podcast too. So tell
Yes.
us how that went.
Yes, it went good. Honestly, I'm a little sore today, so I think that's also a good thing. But yes, I played with Evan Mobilinski. Sorry, Evan, if I pronounced that wrong. um, but yeah, we played in at Bethesda Park in a tournament benefiting ALS, so it was for a good cause as well. But we won gold. We played in a round robin style at first. And the first game, I don't know if it's just nerves or you're just not warmed up enough, but this always happens to me in the three tournaments I've played in. But we were down 10-6, and obviously played to 11, but we came back and won that game. And we
Amazing.
seemed to, that was the theme across the games as we come back. And I was telling Evan, like, let's not get it that way. Like, let's get ahead and stay ahead. But we won that one. And then we ended up winning three more games in the pool, and those are relatively we won, we got ahead. And then we went to play a cross pool game. So you play for a slot to either play in the gold silver match or the bronze, no place match. And you played a 15, one game, and we were down 9-4. And I was
Wow.
just like, those that intrusive thought, you don't let it happen, but it's real. And I'm like,
It's so much pressure at that point.
so much pressure, and you're overthinking, right? And I'm getting frustrated. And I
Right.
don't get frustrated, Deidre. I just don't. And I was getting so frustrated that I was like hitting shots into the net
Yeah.
and just hitting out of bounds, and just because I'm trying to slam it, right? I'm trying to go for that kill shot instead of just the steady get it over the net. That's my game, is to get it over the net. I'm consistent. I'm not really a hard hitter. Um, and I was just like, okay, calm down. You can do it. And we came back, and we were tied at, it was 10-8 for a while. We were down still. And I think it was 11-11, and we pulled through, and it was like
Love it. It's awesome.
15-11. Yeah.
What
With
level did you play?
grade 5 to 4, mixed doubles. That was really fun. And then we played the gold match. We had a referee. I have not had a referee before.
So like formal.
Official. I had to get a picture with him after. Oh, I did. His name was Wayne. It was great. But yeah, he was calling kitchen faults for like feet. He was calling foot faults for service, everything like that. So that was
Wow.
interesting. Below the waist, you had 10 seconds after you called the serve to serve. So that was an experience. But yeah, we actually lost. It's best 2 out of 3. We lost the first game. So that was the first
So you were the whole time coming from behind.
coming from behind. It was just like yeah, it was a lot of pressure, but I guess maybe, pressure creates diamonds. That was my partner was saying. But I think also that gymnast background of feeling a lot of pressure, you're always by yourself out there, and it's just you when you're competing on the floor or any apparatus. And I'm good under pressure. Even at work, I'm good under pressure. Pickleball, I guess I'm okay under pressure too, apparently. So
Do you
yeah,
feel like you put more pressure on yourself because you want to win, or do you not want to let your partner down, or is it both?
it's both, but I think more me. I think more me. And like I don't get frustrated when my partner makes a bad shot. I'm like,
Right.
oh, you're fine. We'll do it again. But if I make a bad shot, it's like a different story, and I'm just like, it's really frustrating. What
Right.
about you?
But like, do you get mad at yourself because you don't want your partner to feel bad that you messed it up for them?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to let anyone else down,
Yeah.
right? Like that's on me. I never thought about it like that either. I'm
Sometimes
mad at
I feel like
myself.
that, which is why I asked the question because I know even rec play, sometimes I'll be playing with somebody, and this sounds so silly, especially in rec play, and I'll be messing up, and then I feel worse. I'm only like 5 points in, and then I start feeling bad because I don't want my partner to like think that I'm ruining this game. Is that the right? I was like, I'm not that I'm ruining this game, that I'm like gonna help him lose this game. It's usually a he for some reason.
Right? I
So
know.
I'm like, oh, then I put more
No.
pressure on myself. And I'm like, this is silly.
No, I definitely feel that too, where it's like you kind of feel embarrassed. Like I
Yes.
felt embarrassed that I'm like, I'm messing up these shots. Like, I'm so sorry. Uh,
Especially when they're easy shots, at least for me. I'm like, how did I miss the easy shot?
yes. It's always like that though.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. The hard shots, like, who cares? I mean, like, the hard shots are justified. So,
Yes. Yeah.
how has joining the women's league changed your game and confidence?
Yes, I loved the women's league. That was amazing. Being able to just be one surrounded by women playing. We don't get that super often.
Right?
There's a lot of males who play this sport now. So doing that and then playing 6 games in a row, that was a lot, and that really ups your game.
It
You
does.
know, you're getting to play against other people that you don't see all the time and their strategy of play, but you also get to play with other people. So the dynamic of play is really cool. So you
Yes.
get to, like you can't lean on any one skill, right?
Yes.
If you
The
can't.
variety. The
Mhm.
variety of players you play against. I try to tell people there are some friends that I know that play at private courts a lot with relatively the same group of people. And I encourage them. I'm like, go out to the rec courts or somewhere else too, because just playing with other people and the differences that of how they play will make you better.
Oh, 100%. You'll see so many different things that you're not
Mhm.
exposed to, like the lobs. When we played Oh My Lob, and they're just lobbing us, like and we weren't used to that.
Yes.
Um, no, definitely. It made me much better player, and I don't think I even people made comments like, "Oh, you've gotten a little bit better since I last saw you," and I'm like,
Mhm.
"I played in this women's league, and that really changed my even perspective of how the game is played."
Right. Right. Do you still play? Did they still have league in the summer?
I think they have a league, but I'm not playing right now. Took a little bit of break from that, but I'd be down to play again in a little bit.
I know, same. Maybe when it gets cold again in the winter. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah.
What moment made you realize you were truly addicted to pickleball?
Um,
Is there a moment?
a specific moment. I mean, I think when I'm out there in 30-degree weather and I need to wear 3 jackets and there's maybe only, like, 6 of us out there, that's a pretty big that was, like, 2 winters ago too, so I don't even think Pinpoint was open or a thing yet, so there
Yeah.
wasn't too many indoor courts. Um, yeah, I was playing out there. That's probably when I know I addicted, and yesterday I played in the tournament from 8 to 12:30, came home, showered, took a nap, then went to Pinpoint from 6 to 8 and played.
Wow. That's commitment.
That's fun.
You had me laughing earlier too with the winter, how people will actually suffer through the summer and the heat here, but a lot of people will start bailing when it gets cold. And it's not even 20 or 30. I've seen a lot of people bail when it's below 50. I'm like, it's is nice now. Like 40s, I actually really like playing in. But
100%.
I think it's Vlady who said he doesn't play below 70 or maybe it's below 60. I'm like, for real? Outside.
Oh my goodness, I feel like 50s, 60s, like, that's, like, perfect.
Oh, it's perfect.
Yeah. I'll play in the 40s even, like, a little jacket, might need a light glove, like, whatever. I'll do that.
Yes. 40s is fine too. Like it's 30s, like like your hands are starting to get cold,
Your
maybe.
face, like, any skin
Mhm.
exposed is a little cold, and that's a little rough, I will agree, but,
Right.
yeah, North Carolinians, they don't, weather the winter as well, but me, when I'm out there in the summer, man, you guys are champions when you're out there and
Oh
it's like,
yeah.
95 and people are out there just dripping and they're like, "Oh, wanna go again?" I'm like, "What? 1 second."
Especially in the sun. I was out there on Friday. Hot. It was so hot. Well, I think it said a real feel of like 97 degrees or something. And North Hills, the courts are one side's more shady than another at a certain time of the day. So I kept shifting to the shady side. But and then some people asked me to go play on the other side. I'm like, if you play over here, I'll play. I'm like, no sun, no more sun. It's already hot enough. No more sun, please.
Yes.
I'm gonna hide.
Yes, I remember that, and it was like, yeah, the near side of the door gets sunny, and then the backside shade.
Uh-huh.
Everyone's trying to get over there.
Yes,
Yeah.
I like playing on that side for sure in the late afternoon. I'm gonna go out to play today too. Can't
I
wait.
know, now I have that itch, I'm like, "Do I play today?"
I'm so playing today. After work, I'm gonna head out there. I'm gonna try to beat oh my gosh, Morgan, on Wednesday night. Were you there Wednesday night?
Mm-mm.
I went at 7. I never go at 7 because 7's like prime time, but I got stuck doing some like work stuff. So I go at 7 o'clock. It was packed, like packed beyond packed. I packed like I haven't seen in a long time, but it was also before like they forecast all this rain that was going to come all weekend. It was just rain like Thursday. So I think that has something to do with it. And I hadn't seen this in a while. The paddles were all up and there were people stacking their paddles on top waiting for like the next round.
Mhm. Double stack. That's
So
when it's crazy.
it was like, I think a 30 plus minute wait. And then I just left. I think I played 2 games and just left. I'm like, I'm out.
Yeah, it's not worth it at that
Yeah.
point. When you're
Yeah.
waiting 30 plus minutes, I waited 40 before, and I'm like, "No, it's not worth it."
Yeah. Meredith's like, just stay, just stay. The people will leave. And I said, and I'm one of them.
I'll help clear it for you, don't worry. Yeah.
So fun. All right, a couple questions to wrap up. If you could go back and tell your pre-pickleball self one thing, what would it be?
This is the hardest question on of today. I'm trying to think pre-pickleball self.
Like, could you imagine your life before, like today,
Would
before you started playing?
if I was not pla if I did not play today, my life would be so different, like, extremely different. I wouldn't know the people that I know. I would be going out to the bars again for something to do, fun. on a weekend to go see people, to go interact with people. So if I would tell myself, I would probably say just continue to be open. And as the game changes and as your life changes, continue to just ride that wave. I started pickleball with my partner and we always played together. And then when that no longer was a part of my life, I had to transition to find out how was I just going to go there and play with other people and not have that person with me. It was strange to go to the courts alone at first. And then I just found that groove. So I think just as your life changes, walk through that life with pickleball too. I wouldn't have joined the women's league probably. Actually, I joined the women's league right as my relationship was deteriorating. And that's how I got closer to some of the women that I now am really close with. So I think just continuing, they go hand in hand, life and pickleball, and just continuing through it.
Mhm. Yeah, it makes sense. All right, complete the sentence. Pickleball is more than just a sport because
The funny answer is pickleball is life because we're all addicted. And the moment we talk about pickleball, like us today, we feel this itch to go play.
true.
um, but no, pickleball is a community that brings people together, like we've talked about, from all different backgrounds, all different places in life for a common theme to just go out there and have a good time and leave life worries, outside the court. I think that if people are wanting to get involved, I think they should just show up to the court. And I think that everyone is really welcoming. This will probably just make it even busier for us, but they are opening a ton of new courts around the area. So that's been super cool. Um, and yeah, it's just an amazing opportunity to play a sport that I've really always wanted to feel that piece of my life again when you're tied 10-10 and you just feel that pressure yet exhilaration. There's nothing else that provides the opportunity
It is really
to me.
cool,
Yeah, we
right?
can do it anytime, right? You can just show up.
It's funny that you, you said too, but bring more people, which will make the courts busier for us. I used to always encourage everybody to come play. Now sometimes I'm like, ooh, do we want more people? But we do, because I feel more people should experience pickleball. Playing the sport in terms of how athletic it is, and that competitive rush like you're talking about, but also the community aspect. So I want everybody to experience that.
Bit by the pickleball bug.
Well, thanks for joining, Morgan.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone. We'll see you next time when a new episode drops each Saturday. If you like this episode, be sure to leave us a like, and we'll see you out on the courts. Bye.